Does it matter then when Doug Jones is seated?
Well, it matters in terms of if Republicans can get this done, Vonnie, by the end of the calendar year. Now, I've spoken with several sources here in Alabama, political types, who tell me that the Alabama government officials are going to send Doug Jones to Congress the earliest December 27th, the latest January 3rd. But I talked with several lawmakers via telephone today back in Washington, D.C., as well as some aides to Republican members who tell me that this tax plan is pretty much finished. It's going to be about a 21% corporate tax rate and expected to be finalized first half of next week. That by Tuesday or Wednesday of next week, this could be completely finished. Now, President Trump will make a major tax speech, address his closing arguments, so to speak, on this tax plan. It comes as he's having lunch with the Republican members of the conference committees. He'll do that at the White House. And it also comes as he'll be joined by Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin, Gary Cohn, Vice President Mike Pence. They're all in on this. And it really would be the first major legislative victory that they can get done by the end of the year. And it comes as a result of last night's special election here in Alabama, because now the Republican majority in the Senate is a razor-thin majority of just one vote once Doug Jones goes to Washington.
And Kevin, on that point, I mean, it was a surprise, the outcome of the election for many folks. So I would sort of place that experience on top of the tax experience now and ask what could still go wrong at this point with getting the bill through before Doug Jones is seated.
Well, they can only lose 2 votes, and these undecided votes, but the rhetoric from the undecideds, people like Senator Susan Collins, has been much more receptive than in previous debates such as health care. So I really think that the momentum is on the Republican side, especially according to the sources. And I'm talking to sources in both conservative camps, right? Not only the folks who are aligned with Republican leadership, people like Speaker Paul Ryan, as well as Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, but also the Bannonites, also folks connected to the more ultra-conservative wing. They're all getting there. And again, both of those camps signaling to me today that early next week is when this thing could be wrapped up.
You know, one of our congressional reporters, Steve Dennis, was tweeting last night that this defeat of Roy Moore actually helps the GOP avoid the most awkward lunch in history. Is there a chance that this actually coalesces the GOP now, that, you know, the thorn in the side, or the difficult candidate is now out of the way? Will they coalesce?
Vonnie, I totally agree with Stephen Dennis. Listen, I spoke with a senior aide to a House Republican member earlier today who told me point blank that they are relieved that they don't have to defend Roy Moore in the 2018 midterm elections, because it would have been a referendum on Roy Moore and that sort. So there's no question that there are many Republicans breathing a sigh of relief. That said, I also spoke with sources connected to Steve Bannon, and they're doubling down and they're digging in. So this interfighting, the personality conflict between Majority Leader McConnell and Steve Bannon really could have some policy implications as we head into next calendar year.